This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hello everybody, welcome to another War and Pieces. As you can see, I've been in my own war and I am in pieces, but that doesn't stop me from showing you some cool stuff for sure. Recently, I'm a big wargaming fan, as you know, of course, or else we wouldn't have a segment called War and Pieces. And the one thing that I really like to do is people that aren't war gamers that would like to try it, how do you get them into it? You know, do you go right into Flames of War or bolt action? I think sometimes it's just too much, but sometimes just having something simple but very strategic can get people to take things in steps. So recently I was hoping, and I brought in a game called World of Tanks, and I finally got it in yesterday, right when I got out of surgery, of course, and I couldn't wait to take a look at it. And it was everything I hoped for sure. But is it good? Is it easy to play? Can anybody play it? We'll talk more about why, what I think and everything at the end of this video. But right now, let's go down to the table and take a look at the game World of Tanks, based on, yeah, you got it, the video game, but it's not a board game, and it has a lot of possibility. Let's go check it out. So I'm going to do my best to explain this with one hand. You're going to get 4 tanks in the box, and of course you can buy additional tanks separately to build up this fantastic game. You're going to get a bunch of this scenery, but I really suggest if you are somebody that likes to do things 3D, you're going to play this on a 3x3 area, and basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a nice little field and have some fun with it. The tanks are fantastic. They come already assembled. Even in the booster packs, they come assembled. And it looks like they're already primed, to be honest with you. So just, you know, a nice, you know, simple dry brushing with some of the stuff, taking care of the tracks here. Maybe add a couple decals and boom, you've got yourself some really nice tanks here. The way this works, it's very, very simple. And we're going to take a look. Panzerkaufwagen. Okay, let's do that. Okay, everything's just done simply. There is a cost, so you're going to have an associated cost. And the neat thing about this is you have crew, and you can only have 1 card per crew. But what you're going to do is you're going to play to a certain amount of points. So you have 35 points for this, and you can take and buy these cards that are going to upgrade your tank. But you don't want to show them to the other guy until you reveal them and they do what they do. And they're going to do different types of things. Like for this one, it's going to cost you 2 to buy this, so you would go up to 37, but you can re-roll a failed repair roll. So that's something that's going to help you, and we'll explain that later. But there's going to be crew cards, there's going to be different types of equipment that you can get, and you can only have a certain amount of each card, and you can fit it to a certain cost depending on what you're playing. Okay, and I'll show you how much those go, and that way you guys have a better idea. Okay, let me just get there. Again, we're trying to do this with one arm, and there are cards that you... There's only a certain amount of the cards. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. Equipment cards, you can have 0 from 3. Ammo cards, you can have 0 from 3. Consumable cards, 0 from 3, if you can fit it within your cost. Okay, crew cards per crew position. So you're going to see on this, let me move this out of the way, that you have these crew positions. So if you can fit this all into your cost, you can have yourself a heck of a battle and you know, a really beefed up tank. but you kind of have to stay a little bit balanced here. Now let's take a look. Movability, okay? Movability is how much you can move, how many turns you can move. And what I mean by that is you're going to take this measuring stick here, and if you have a movability of 2, well, you can use this twice any way you want. So if you want to move, you move to the edge here. That is considered 1. And then you're going to get a token like this, and you're going to put this next to your tank. Now say you want to make a turn. Well, all you do is just move it this way, and I'm trying to do this with one hand, and then boom, that would be your second. So you get a second token. Now what do these two tokens do? By doing your movability, it makes it harder for you to hit another tank, and also another tank harder to hit you, which we'll explain when we get to shooting. Okay, we're going to move some of these tanks out of the way, and we're just going to go over some quick things here. So for instance, we have the Panzerkampf wagon right here, and then over here we have the T-34. Okay, so let's keep on going. This has a movability of 3. It has an initiative 6. Okay, where the Panzerkampf wagon has an initiative 5. I'm going to just put these here so you guys can see. So this would always get the initiative to move first. Okay, so you go by initiative. All right. Survivability. Survivability is how many dice that you are going to roll. Okay, in defense. Firepower. Well, that's how many dice, the number 4, you are going to roll in when you fire. So for instance here, if the Panzerkampf wagon was firing at the T-34 here, okay, first of all, you have to have line of sight. Now there's also things that are going to give you cover, so let's take a look at that, and we're going to do just a couple of things here, and I want to make sure that you guys understand everything. If you can see 3 corners of the tank in a straight line, even though it's partially behind a building, it is not in cover. If you do not see more 3 corners of a tank, it is considered in cover. Okay, anytime it is behind a wall is considered hull down. Okay, or on a hill. If it's behind things, it's going to get additional dice for being in cover. Okay, so you're going to be able to, as long as you have a straight line of sight. Assault guns that don't move, you have to have a front firing arc. There's also going to be disadvantages when firing for defensively. If you fire into a side port, you're going to get an advantage. They're going to lose a defense die. But let's just say, for sakes, just to show you how things work here. Okay, this tank had 2 movements. This tank had 2 movements. Okay, so what's going to happen is it has a firepower of 4. It is going to roll 4 dice. It's going to roll, and okay, this is great, because a blank is a miss. Okay, a bullet here is considered a hit, and then here you have what is considered a critical. Okay, we'll explain that very shortly. Now, once you've rolled your four firepower dice, you're gonna put those aside, and then the defensive tank is going to take up and start calculating its defense. So here's how it works, and you can never go past a maximum of 6 dice here. So again, they're going to get 1 for their survivability. Number 2, they're going to get 2 dice for every movement that this took. So they're going to get another 2. And then it would get another 2 for every movement that it took. So you would roll 5 dice here. So we're going to roll 5, and okay, there we go. So what happens is they're going to pick a dice, and they're always going to take the critical first and cancel the critical. Why? The criticals are nasty, because if you get hit with a critical, you're going to pull one of these cards, and it may do nothing, but it may give it may do something to the tank that is going to hinder it. And as you can see, this is repairable. We'll talk about repairable and how everything goes through. But there are certain things that are going to add more damage than one hit. Now, now the next thing that happens is that is going to cancel that. But let's just say, for sakes, that this one hit went through. They would take 1 damage. Now, that's just a normal hit. A critical, you're always going to pull a card. Now, the way the turn sequence goes, it goes movement phase, then the shooting phase, and then command phase. And this is where you're going to take, and if you have one of these cards on your thing, like see, this one is a lucky hit. Okay, so you're going to do 2 additional damage. Your hit points are always right here. Okay, each tank here has only 4 points. There are other tanks that have higher hit values, such as tigers and stuff like that. And what's going to happen is there's also going to be certain cards that, as you can see, as you get hit, you go from green to yellow to orange to red. There are cards that, if you are in the red, that are going to have different effects and affect your tank. So there's a lot of strategy that goes on here, and a lot of things that come into play. When you're behind cover, you're going to be able to get an extra die. Remember, you can only have a maximum of 6 defensive die, but as you're taking hits, you're going to run into problems, and you're going to want to protect your tank a lot more. Now, again, like I said, at the end, the command phase here, if you have something that is repairable, such as this, you're going to get a chance to roll one of these dice. And on a hit or a critical, you'll be able to repair. Okay, I was able to roll that. This would go away. Okay, so you're going to resolve any effects. You're going to reset everything. And then you're going to go back into whoever has the initiative and the advantage. The nice thing that it comes with a lot of great tokens. For instance, this is great because if you mark this as tank number 1, you know that you've already used that tank, so you don't get lost in the battlefield. The incredible strategy with all the cards and the different things that you can do that are going to give you additional hits, or changing a hit into a critical and things like that, are going to help kind of change the strategy. So the game, you may fight these 2 tanks several different times, but have different loadouts for them and have different outcomes, so it's never the same. All in all, this is just a nice, simple, and very great system, and really, really works very, very well, and beautiful models on top of it. But let's save all that for when we go up top, and I give you my final thoughts on World of Tanks. Hope we did a pretty good job explaining this, and hope you get it. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and we'll take care of it for you. Let's go up top and get on. I really like this a lot. And again, for all the reasons is, it's simple, it's quick, you can make it as strategic as you want, and you can fight actual battles. You don't have to mix and match the tanks. Like is suggested, you could take Germany and UK, and, depending on what tank you want to have in your platoon, you can have all different nations. You can actually just play the nations and, do Stalingrad or the Bulge or whatever, whatever tank battles you want to do. The Desert Fox and all those other things. There's quite a few tanks that are going to be coming for this, okay? And the neat thing about it is when you buy these tanks, you can actually enter the code on them and play them in the video game, which I think is just fantastic. The game is simple, but it has some strategic things in it, and I think it just fits really well for a quick, if you have the terrain and stuff like that, and do this 3D, the models come together, they're really nice, a couple of touch-ups here and there, and you're off and running. You don't even have to paint these, to be honest with you. And I was impressed with the detail of the models. Okay, I really like what you have here. This is a very great system. I think it's a huge upgrade from the original game, Tanks. I like everything it does. I like the way it plays. I like the way I've got to think and how to structure my tank. And then, like I said, you could buy all kinds of different tanks. Like I've got a bunch here. I have a Valentine here, okay? Because I was going to buy I'm going to buy everything for this. And buy multiples of it, because you can do a lot of great things with it. And, you know, you need to have the cards, unfortunately. So, you know, you could possibly, maybe if you have something painted, replace it with the model that's in here until you can get to paint it. Like I've got a bunch of 15 mil that would be perfect for this, okay? And would work. And as long as you have the card, you can go with it. We have the Stug here, okay? Which, you know, we kind of talked a little bit about the assault guns, how they had to fire forward, that they can't fire around. And then here, the M3 Lee, okay? So now you got yourself a nice little start. Yes, you 100, okay? I went right for it. Let's go right into it, and I go all in. So, am I happy with this? Yes, very much. I think the uncertainty of the critical cards, I think, is cool. The amount of dice, it's really easy to kind of figure out the balance, you know, when things move, because you have those tracking tokens and everything. This is just probably as good as a tank game that you can get, simplified tank game, that you can get, and you can bring anybody in. If you have kids and stuff like that you want to have some fun with, you're going to have a blast with this, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And they're going to pick up on things, little strategies and things like that, and get better and better at it. And I think this is just a great starting point, and it does a beautiful job being what it is. A tank game. Just a tank game. A fun 3x3 on a nice little 3x3 table. Boom, you're off and running and having a great time. Throw up some buildings and have a blast. And I think this is just fantastic. Hats off to Gale Force 9 for, again, putting on another great game. All right, listen. That's about it. I think we praised this thing to no end. So, until next time, it's your old pal Rob, who's going to go rest now for a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go rest for a little bit. It's been a blast. Hope you enjoyed this video, and go get this game. You can find it at Miniature Market, or go to Gale Force 9 and you can pick it up there, or anywhere else that you buy your games. But definitely get this. This is a fantastic and wonderful experience that I think you, a small child, or just you and a friend, just getting in a quick game and enjoying yourselves would enjoy immensely. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon.